Reinier, do me a favor. Give me the proper pronunciation of your name.
Reinier de Ridder.
Yeah.
Or go RDR. This is the way for you guys.
Sounds much easier for me. First, welcome to the UFC. How are you feeling?
It's amazing. It's very cool to finally be here. I've been talking to you guys about this for years, and it's finally here. So yeah, I'm very happy.
I'm looking at my notes. You're 34, if I'm not correct.
Yep.
Was the move to the UFC something that you thought that was going to happen maybe before? Was it? I know you were having great success in other leagues, the one and everything. Did you ever think that you would get here before? Was the goal to get here before 34, or is this the perfect time for you to make your entrance into the UFC?
To be honest, I never really think like this. It is here right now. I'm gonna make sure I capitalize on this moment. That's all that there is to it. I've had a lot of good years, a lot of good success. I've been fairly inactive over the last couple of years, and I'm happy to be able to be making up for those lost years now.
Well, jump back, and when you were at one, you left one, you retired after the loss, and then you were back shortly after that. What was the reasoning with the retirement? Did the itch not go away, and you want to get back, or what was the reasoning behind that?
No, there was no retirement. This is more of
get me out of my contract.
No, there was no retirement, and then I had to leave. I had to go because there's no fights. There's no guys there. It's running out. I had to go.
And now when you're looking at the UFC, I mean, your excitement level in that aspect has to be pretty exciting when you're looking at this whole new talent of.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. Finally, after all these years of talking about all the top guys, to finally be close to getting them is very cool. Yeah.
And why middleweight? Recently, you fought it before. I tried to look in the records. I think 2018 was one of the last times I saw that you fought it at middleweight. Why the decision to come down into 185?
Yeah, so this is like my normal weight class. In one, I fought at 205, but it was with the hydration test and stuff, remember? So you couldn't really cut weight, but then a lot of people figured out you could cut weight. So, but I always just fought at middleweight in one as well, at 205. But now here, it's fairly doable. It's fairly manageable to make 185. It's not an issue. And if I fight at light heavyweight, the guys are going to be a lot bigger than me, which might be something that's down the line. But I'll have a look at middleweight first. Yeah.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions, if that's the kind of thing, because we've seen fighters make that decision where they want to jump back and forth just to stay busy.
Yeah.
But you're hoping you stay busy, but you want to keep the busyness in 185 at this point.
Well, for now, yeah. So if anything last minute shows up, I would definitely, how do I say this? Consider 205. But 185 is the weight class which fits me best. Yeah.
And I know it's your UFC debut. There's lots to be excited about, but you're also used to fighting in big arenas. Is it still going to be? It's the UFC Apex. It's not a big arena, but is the excitement level still there, having your debut here in the UFC Apex, or would you rather if it was maybe in front of a larger crowd?
A large crowd would be very cool as well. So maybe somebody can get hurt for New York next week, and I can step in. Who knows?
You like quick turnarounds, huh?
We'll see. But let's. The most important thing is Gerald first. It's a very cool matchup. It's cool that it's here. It's so nice to experience the PI, to get to know you guys here around the UFC. Yeah. See what I can do.
Well, you bring up the PI. I think one of the things that interests fighters about the UFC, and let alone some fighters move to Las Vegas, is the Performance Institute. What are your thoughts initially of the Performance Institute and the access that now you can go in there and train anytime you want?
Yeah, it's amazing. The way they've helped me with the weight cut, they've really made it a lot easier for me. Training is great. We can use the recovery stuff there. It's an awesome resource. But I don't think I can bring my kids to Las Vegas. It's a bit too much here.
A lot of people still raise their kids, but I mean, you never know. Coming in this fight, and you don't have to give me particular numbers, but how heavy were you coming into this fight week? How much do you typically have to cut for a fight week, and now that you're cutting down to middleweight, was this a large cut that you had to?
The last time I really cut weight was over 6 years ago to get to middleweight. And normally when I go to 205, it's just a couple of kilos. So I skip carbs for a couple of days and I make the weight. Eat a little bit less Indian food in Singapore and skip some of the pad thai, and then I'm good to go. But this time, I think I'm just pretty normal for any middleweight. The weight I cut is pretty similar to anybody does, and I think there's guys who even cut more weight. It's looking like I'm gonna make it pretty easily. So yeah, I'm pretty content with how this one is going, and I think I can do this a couple times more.
Nice. And you mentioned Gerald. Talk to me about how much. Is this a guy you've seen fight before? Were you able to look up some tape on him? And what were your initial thoughts on him? And where is he dangerous? And what do you need to look out for when you get into the cage?
Yeah, definitely. So to be honest, if I can ever get close to one of the records he holds, it would be amazing. So cool to see him fight. I've always watched his fights, and this is a great thing as well for this fight. There's so much tape to study. He has so much fights. He has a really typical style, ways he finishes fights are very typical. He has a few things that he's very dangerous at. He has a few things he does which I think I can really capitalize on as well. But it's a great matchup. I'm very happy that they've given me him for my first fight. As he is a veteran, he's a real name, and I think if I can really put a stamp on this one, I can start. I have some leverage to start calling out some bigger names.
That's awesome. And for UFC fans that maybe haven't seen your fighting style in other organizations, how would you tell the UFC fans, describe your fight style to them?
Yeah, so expect me to come out guns blazing, putting a lot of pressure on my opponent, hitting him with some good shots, hopefully, taking him down not too long after, and then choking him out shortly after as well. So that's pretty much the game plan normally.
And I know it's your debut. I mean, is any win a good win, or do you really want to go out there and have a nice, flashy, emphatic finish or a big win to make your splash into the UFC?
Nah, a win is not enough in this one. The top dogs finished Gerald, and I want to prove I'm one of them. So, yeah.
And last for me, your keys to the victory. What needs to happen to make sure that you get your arm raised on Saturday?
I need to start aggressively fast. I need to push him from the start, and I need to see that neck and choke him out.
Thank you, RDR, for taking the time. Let me just circle back real quick. When you mentioned, you pretty much you're like, okay, I'm the big fish now. I've kind of just ran the course. I need to get out of here. How did you come to that realization? And I respect that so much, to want to be able to challenge yourself and come to the big league and be like, okay, this is where I need to be. I've already done that. I need to go to that next level and really take my career to the top.
Yeah, so I basically just between fights I got parked for endless time. I was at times begging for fights, and it never happened. So it was time to move on to some more professionalism.
Yes, sir. And it's kind of I'm sure it would be almost like a dream come true, or off the bucket list to say, I'm fighting in Vegas, I'm in the Apex, and that main card. I mean, I know timing isn't always perfect, but does it get more perfect than this?
Nah, it's great. I'm very happy to be here. And this is something I've really set my mind on. I'm gonna try and enjoy it a bit more this time. So I've ran the course of a normal MMA career maybe already. I've been the challenger. I've been the champion. I've lost it all. I've won again. And I kind of, at times, I think I've been in the future a bit too much, always thinking ahead. So this time I really want to take it all in, enjoy every moment, take some more time to, enjoy it all, yeah.
That's fantastic. So we get RDR 2.0 on the biggest stage? And last for me, just for fun, do the kids get to watch the fights at all? Are they involved in the fight game with you?
Not yet, not yet. So my boy is 4, my girl is 6. It's a bit too much still, but they're in the gym, so they see me work. They're not really interested anyway, so.
You never know; they're always watching.
My boy, he really likes it. So he takes my coaches down and he trains a bit with the kids. My girl likes different stuff, but that's nice as well.
That's awesome, sir. Well, good luck on Saturday and welcome.
Thank you, sir.